Hello dear brothers and sisters in Christ. This one video I'm making is not going to be a series, but is going to be videos that have to do with Islam, but it's not going to be a series on Islam, but different topics on end time and on how Islam was formed and how it lines up with the New Thought, New Age religion, the coming of the Age of Peace, and how it all ties together that Antichrist is going to come from the East, from the Islamic countries. So I found a page that says thereligionofpeace.com, and it's asking what makes Islam so different? Is it the religion of peace? And then it says 10 obvious reasons why Islam is not a religion of peace. Number 1, 18,000 deadly terror attacks committed explicitly in the name of Islam in just the last 10 years. Other religions combined for perhaps a dozen or so. Number 2, Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam, had people killed for insulting him or for criticizing his religion. This included women. Muslims are told to emulate the example of Muhammad, and that says that he is the example to follow. So what Muhammad did, the Prophet Muhammad, what he did, Muslims are told to do also. Number 3, Muhammad said in many places that he has been ordered by Allah to fight men until they testify that there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad is his messenger. In the last 9 years of his life, he ordered no less than 65 military campaigns to do exactly that. Muhammad inspired his men to war with these, with the basest of motives, using captured Lot, sex and gluttonous paradise as incentives. He beheaded captives, enslaved children, and raped women captured in battle. Again, Muslims are told to emulate the example of Muhammad. Number 4, after Muhammad died, the people who lived with him and knew his religion best immediately fell into war with each other. Fatima, Muhammad's favorite daughter, survived the early years among the unbelievers at Mecca, safe and sound, yet died of stress from the persecution of fellow Muslims only 6 months after her father died. She even miscarried Muhammad's grandchild after having her ribs broken by the man who became the second caliph. It was the same caliph, Umar, who ordered the death of the first convert to Islam at Medina, an elderly leader who became a close companion to Muhammad and proved his worth in battle. Sa'd ibn Ubadah was killed after a failed bid to be caliph. Fatima's husband Ali, who was the second convert to Islam and was raised like a son to Muhammad, fought a civil war against an army raised by Aisha, Muhammad's favorite wife, and one whom he had said was a perfect woman. 10,000 Muslims were killed in a single battle waged less than 25 years after Muhammad's death. 3 of the first 4 Muslim rulers, caliphs, were murdered. All of them were among Muhammad's closest companions. The 3rd caliph was killed by allies of the son of the first, who was murdered by the 5th caliph a few years later, then wrapped in the skin of a dead donkey and burned. The 4th caliph, Ali, was stabbed to death after a bitter dispute with the 5th. The 5th caliph went on to poison one of Muhammad's 2 favorite grandsons. The other grandson was later beheaded by the 6th caliph. So we have war among those who were rulers, those who were caliphs in the beginning. The infighting and power struggles between Muhammad's family members, closest companions, and their children only intensified with time. Within 50 short years of Muhammad's death, even the Kaaba, which had stood for centuries under pagan religion, lay in ruins from internal Muslim war. And that's just the fate of those within the House of Islam. And as it said here, the Kaaba stone, where Muslims do come to have their sins forgiven. This black stone is the Great Diana. So it's from the pagan religion, even before it was said to be a stone for only Muslims to come and worship. So the religion of Islam is actually a pagan religion. Number 5. Muhammad directed Muslims to wage war on other religions and bring them under submission to Islam. Within the first few decades following his death, his Arabian companions invaded and conquered Christian, Jews, Jewish, Hindu, Buddhists, and Zoroastrian lands. A mere 25 years after Muhammad's death, Muslim armies had captured land and people within the borders of over 28 modern countries outside of Saudi Arabia. They are actually ordered to take over the whole world. Number 6. Muslims continued their jihad against other religions for 1,400 years, checked only by the ability of non-Muslims to defend themselves. To this day, not a week goes by that Islamic fundamentalists do not attempt to kill Christians, Jews, Hindus, and Buddhists explicitly in the name of Allah. None of these other religions are at war with each other. Number 7. Islam is the only religion that has to retain its membership for formally threatening to kill anyone who leaves. This is according to the example set by Muhammad. Number 8. Islam teaches that non-Muslims are less than fully human. Muhammad said that Muslims can be put to death for murder, but that a Muslim could never be put to death for killing a non-Muslim. And it's actually said and taught to children that Jews are apes and donkeys. And Hitler told that Jews were rats that came to poison the world. And I guess that's the same thing that Islam teaches. And you wouldn't know that because they do not tell the world that they do these things, that they teach these things. But you might want to reconsider your position to those who truly follow the Quran and confess themselves to be Muslims, true Muslims. Number 9, the Quran never once speaks of Allah's love for non-Muslims, but it speaks of Allah's cruelty toward and hatred of non-Muslims more than 500 times. Number 10, Allahu Akbar. The last words from the cockpit of Flight 993, and that must be the one from 9/11. And when you go check the site, it actually tells you first of all a bit about this page. The Religion of Peace is a non-partisan, fact-based site which examines the ideological threat that Islam poses to human dignity and freedom. Then it reports jihad from July 9th and July 15th, 2016. Attacks, 41 killed, 364 injured, 491. Suicide blasts, 6 countries, 13. Then it says Islamic terrorists have carried out more than 28,856 deadly terror attacks since 9/11. And then it reports in June 2016, attacks 238, killed 2,055, injured 2,006, suicide blasts 43, countries 33, and there's a list again of attacks where it was. Then it says it's far easier to act as if critics of Islam have a problem with Muslims as people than it is to accept the uncomfortable truth that Islam is different. So if you look at Muslims as people rather than looking at Islam as a religion that is not based on peace but wants to take over the world, then it's harder to act on that. But if you just say it doesn't have to do with people as such, it has to do with religion, then it's easier to act upon it. There's a lot on this page, and it lists about the page and about terror attacks, about Islam, about Muhammad, the Quran, and you can contact this page's owner as well. So I will link this below, and I'll keep making videos on Islam, but just in different topics. So thank you all for listening. God bless you all, and see you in the next video. Bye!